We're out here on this really humid day, but I figured I'd do a short video on this gun I just picked up. I picked this up on trade. This is a Stevens Model 87A. Awesome 22. One of the first mass-produced 22s, but you wouldn't be able to tell by the quality. It still has most of its bluing. I'd say 95%. There's a little bit more wear down at the muzzle. That's pretty normal. It is a tube-fed magazine. I believe it holds 15 rounds, possibly 14, and then one in the chamber. But I believe I've loaded 15 in that. It does have a little slide safety here. And some of you already know this. It's called a click-clack or a GILL gun. And the GILL aspect is right here on the side. That is a GILLed exhaust port for your dirty 22 ammo to expel, you know, the remnants and the gases. But it's called a click-clack because the action, it is semi-automatic 22 rifle. The action makes that sound every time you fire. And upon holding the trigger, after you fire, it holds the action back until you let go. Click, clack. So we're gonna go ahead and get this loaded and take a few shots today. I've got my buddy here, this little squirrel that I drew, which is, I think it's a squirrel. That is just, that's awful. That's awful. And to think they wanted to send me to art school. Anyway, let's get this loaded up and see how she does. All right, guys, we got the squirrel down here. You can see him there. And I'm gonna be aiming for his nut. That's right. I have enough faith in this gun. I think I can just dial it in pretty close. I'm gonna do it offhand and do a couple of accurate shots. Just treat it like I would if I was squirrel hunting. Man, I tell you, it's hot. But let's go ahead, let's get this thing loaded up and shoot some nuts. I'm gonna be using the Winchester Super X. These are the 40 grain. And for anybody who's used these, they're copper jacketed hollow points. They are the real deal. Anybody who's used these are devastating on critters. For instance, I wouldn't use these on a trap line to put an animal down just because of the size of the hole it leaves. Small game, if you hit them in the head, you're good to go. You save a lot of meat. But anyway, tube fed mag here. You just twist the end, slide it on out, and you've got a loading port right here where you can just take your 22 bullet and just drop them right down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this loaded up and we'll fire it. We got the GILL gun here. We're gonna go ahead and fire it. Should be fun. Aiming for that little nut. I do have ear pro in. And by the way, it does hold 15 rounds in the tube. All right, guys, we're empty. It's hot, it's humid, it's morning time and it's humid. But let's take a look at this. You can see, so my first shot was here and I'm aiming for the nut. I'm about 12 yards off this thing, maybe 15. So second shot, first shot, second shot, third shot, fourth shot, fifth shot, and then just kind of all around here. And then my rapid fire ones are right here at the body. I mean, that's not bad at all. If I were to prop up with this gun and actually take precise shots, it would be unbelievable. I haven't had any malfunctions with this gun. It works flawlessly. And we'll talk more about that in a minute, but let's go ahead and shoot it again. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and rack it. We're ready to fire. That is way too much fun. Way too much fun. What a beautiful gun. All right, let's go take a look. Second rounds. Yep, this is exactly where I was aiming, right here in this area. We had a few flyers because I'm goofing off. Yeah, I'm shooting rapidly to see what kind of a tight group I can get at 12 to 15 yards offhand, and I mean, that is insane. That is incredibly accurate. But what we could do now, I'm gonna get in a cooler place and we'll talk a little more about this rifle. All right, guys, we're in my little shed here, also my shop. You'll have to forgive the mess behind me. I'm doing some rearranging. I'm getting things situated to do a Lancaster rifle build. It'll be 45 caliber and it'll be made from a gun stock blank. So keep your eyes out in the future. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do, because I will be sharing videos on that. But today we're talking about the Stevens 87A. What a sweet gun and what a sweet shooter. I typically, well, for 10 years now, I've been using a Marlin single shot youth model. I use it on the trap line. I use it in the woods for hunting squirrels. It's insanely accurate. That gun is from the 50s, so it's, you know, the same quality, and it's incredibly accurate, just like this rifle. I will do a follow-up video perching up and shooting when the weather cools off a bit, because it's just way too hot to even want to try to be accurate. I do practice on my own in the heat. You know, you got to keep your skills sharp, but for filming purposes, it's just miserable to do that. But this gun is incredible. It has functioned flawlessly. You know, it's got a lot of mojo, a lot of good vibes. And for the first mass-produced 22, the fit and finish is incredible. You know, everything about this gun, this is a walnut stock. All the edges, the contours are there where they need to be. And the wrist, the stock as well. Even the foregrip up here, just phenomenal. The danger with this gun is the fact that you're going to blow through a heck of a lot of 22 ammo in a hurry. That's why I like the single shot 22 I have. It really helps you focus, and the danger of these is knowing you have backup shots, so you tend to be a little bit sloppier with them, in my opinion. But what an incredible gun, what an incredible history, and just to think, you know, of the age of this thing, you know, you're looking at 70 years old pretty much. The rifling in the barrel itself is just shiny, really clean. The rifling is really pronounced. What an awesome gun. I really can't say enough about it, but this is my first semi-automatic 22, and I'm just gonna say something that's probably not popular, and you guys are gonna hate me for this. I do not like 1022s. I think they're clunky, they're bulky, and out of the box they're relatively inaccurate, at least the ones I've shot and handled. I don't care for them. The edges are sharp, there's no contour, just really a sterile kind of gun, which I don't like, as opposed to this that has a really, like I said, it's got the contours. You can tell somebody actually sanded this stock by hand and worked with it. But yeah, 1022s, not my favorite, not by a long shot. This gun's gonna see a lot of use. Another thing I wanted to say about it was how it points. It points so naturally. It fits right in your shoulder, and boom, you're right on your sight picture. The sights are nice and crisp. The blade in the front is very thin, and it does have a little brass bead, which is nice. But I did put some of my wife's red fingernail polish on there, just a little dot. But yeah, the sight picture is phenomenal. Whereas the 1022, not a big fan of that sight picture. Kind of clunky. Everything about them is just kind of clunky, and not necessarily overbuilt for quality's sake. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's got different opinions. But this gun, this is one of those guns you pass down, and I'm going to pass this down to my son. Just what a thrill to shoot, what a pleasure to shoot, and I'm still getting acquainted with it, and that's the thing. I'm getting familiar shooting it, but I can tell already once I get acquainted with this gun and get familiar, I'm just going to be stupid deadly with it, and hopefully we can go out and shoot some squirrels this season, and get that on video for you guys and have some fun. But I've got a special message coming up at the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. YouTube has refused to monetize my channel. Here's my surprised face. It appears that some of my content regarding guns is considered harmful when held up to the YouTube policies. Meanwhile, I'm sure you wouldn't have to look very hard to find a few drag time story hour videos on this very platform that I would deem incredibly harmful that are most likely monetized. YouTube and I don't see eye to eye. Surprise, surprise. But here's the truth. I didn't start this channel to make money. I started this channel to share moments of my life with people who care and are interested in the things that I'm doing. I did it to counteract all of the negativity that affected us all during the 2 years of 2 weeks to flatten the curve, to retain some spiritual and mental normalcy. I wanted to give people, you, a mental diversion from the constant bombardment of idiocy. The greatest thing that YouTube could do is tell me that I don't fit their mold. I live by my own set of standards that actually protect and defend real people surrounding an ideology that once existed in our nation called freedom. To all of my subscribers and regular contributors, your support is what keeps me going. Thank you for helping me hit over 1,000 subscribers. I will always remain true to myself and true to my character, which in turn will continue to reflect in my content. I'm just getting started. You can also find me over at Instagram at major.musket, where I share exclusive content that you won't see here on YouTube.